thought this video I'd start off by playing some guitar. I just came up with the riff off the top of my head. It kind of sounds like Tool's Numa, but... Okay, today I was just gonna do a coffee chat because it's been about a month since the last one, and I just wanted to do a little check-in with what I've been working on and drink some coffee. Alright, cool. Check-in. So what I've been working on. So recently I've been writing something, and this feels like it's going to be the peak of the album. It is by far the most direct storytelling that I've been doing in terms of the lyrics, and there's a ton to the instrumental section of it. There are 4 functional keys that it uses in the song. The song uses F, F sharp minor, C, and C minor as its 4 different keys, and I wove in some fun ways to move between those, and all of it goes together to tell a story. I have a notebook. I'm not going to show anything inside of it because it's all a secret. You'll have to hear it later. But I took for every single verse, every single instrumental section, every tiny solo, and wrote out what it's supposed to add to the story. So I hope that people appreciate the depth of that, and really, I love this song. It tells the story that I want to tell for this song. In how it plays into the album, it feels like it's going to be the peak of the album. But then the album itself is now around 40 minutes long. I think last time I said it was like 31 or whatever. It's about 40 minutes long at the moment with that newest song. The newest song is like 9 minutes. And it needs it. I think there will be at least 2 more songs in the course of the album. That's what I feel like the story needs, and my ideas have gotten thus far. However, I'm just going to keep writing until the story's finished, or feel like it's done what it needs to do. What I wanted to talk about today is just some songwriting stuff that I've been thinking about. I watched a couple of videos today that were all about kind of pop music and songwriting and whatnot, and some trends and some different ideas for songwriting. There's a cycle to the lengths of songs in popular music. As an example, the Beatles was lots of short songs, and you had stuff getting shorter, more dense. Grunge came along, and suddenly you started getting 5, 6, up to 9-minute songs or whatever. Some of my favorite music also has some very long songs. Tool, as an example, and Dream Theater have 12, 15, 20-minute songs that they do. But generally, pop music has become more condensed. And the video talked about music's getting even shorter nowadays because previously you heard songs on the radio, and the most important part was the chorus because it was the same words that everybody could learn, and that was the part that everybody was going to know. And now, if you hear a pop song on the radio, if it follows traditional structure, you may hear the chorus 3 times. But you probably heard it way more on TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels because it's just there, even in the background, because the person who made it wanted that song. And it may not even be the chorus that they wanted. It could very well just be a verse or a bridge. And that's what this video I watched talked about. It's really just the hooks of the song. The hook of the song can now be whatever it needs to grab people. An important part of the hook itself and getting people to play stuff over and over again, there's so much importance that's reliant on lyrics. Specifically, a few things. Controversy and innuendo will always get attention. That's part of a biological function of people, is that our brains will keep track of anything we see as a source of danger, nourishment, or reproduction. Entertainment loves to do that, where they exploit biological functions to get people's attention and money. That's kind of the hook side of what I wanted to talk about, is songwriting specifically for the hook, is that you're writing a song to serve this one moment in it that people will remember. Something else that I think is important in songwriting is the story. And I think A lot of older music used to play into that more heavily. And it really was about the story of the whole song, not just the hook, because radio played the entire song and there wasn't a way to consume just the hook. The lyrics of the song tell the story of the song. And I love stories in music. I also think that's what makes super fans out of people, is that people knowing the story behind an artist makes them love them all that much more. I like concept albums from artists that I like, so I'll go and listen to their stuff and understand the story they're trying to tell. Long songs, I like a lot of them because there's a bigger story to tell. Dream Theater's Octavarium is 24 minutes long, and I think it's a wonderful story. Tying this in with something else that the video talked about, and I think this is a thing that we all understand, but when it gets pointed out to us, we're like, oh, yeah, duh. When COVID happened, a lot of people were confined to home or whatever. Their amount of time that could be allotted to entertainment drastically increased. And so the attention of people that everyone was competing for was suddenly super abundant. Streaming services skyrocketed, short form content, everything, because it was all tons of attention. But people don't have a very long attention span, so short form content really boomed during all of that. After things started returning to normal, whether it be people going back to work or whatever, that return to normalcy involves a reduction of the people's allotted time to entertainment. When that time is reduced, people have to make a decision as to what they're going to consume. My hope is that people will look for something they can get more deeply involved in. Something I notice in some of the young people that I know, and this may not be in mass, but I definitely see it in myself, is that I found myself so overexposed to things in the world, and I just felt lost because of that. And I also know that I'm being lied to by a ton of this stuff because they have other incentives and other biases that they want to serve. I felt the need to be diverse in taste and in the things that I consume, and that I need to justify anything that I am really drawn to. That hurt me a lot, and I can't live like that, and people can't live like that, trying to justify so vehemently everything that they like, and maybe can't even explain why they're drawn to it. Because there's so much information, and there's so many lies within all of it. When people can't trust anything on the outside, they start to look inside for answers. And this is kind of the beginning of introspection for me. And my music is introspective, and the album is telling my story of introspection. But pay attention to the story, because there is a danger with trying to peel back that curtain and understand the workings inside and essentially performing a self-autopsy. I guess that spoils a little bit about what that song's about. With this debate of essentially the hook versus the story, where am I left with songwriting? I have a few thoughts here. If people are going to hear the hook of the song in short form content or whatever everywhere, and anything can be the hook really, because it's no longer needs to be the chorus, because any part that resonates with people is going to get attention. Why not fill the song with stuff like that? Fill the song with stuff that's interesting lyrics or cool melodies or drastic key changes, but stuff that works functionally. That's always the balance of it. The other side to that is that all of these hooks and moments that you're playing for, you're setting up these moments to be quote unquote viral. All of these need to come together to tell the story. Because if this 9-minute long song is composed of a bunch of hooks and just catchy stuff, what is it then? It's just a compilation. That doesn't really mean anything. So they all have to come together and point towards a singular thing. And maybe the idea is not creating a song specifically to go towards this specific hook as a moment, but creating constant moments, and for people to have to exist inside the song in order to understand it. You can't play it in the background. You have to really listen to it. and that you have to live through these moments in order to understand the total journey. This is dawning on me, is that there's a lot to people not living in the moment because social media, short form content, anything. There's so many distractions in the world, and for people to live in the moment is becoming increasingly harder. So I really think that part of this song and the importance of it for me is bringing myself into focus, because I've found myself, especially through introspection, living in the past and trying to dig through my own self and understand, where did I go wrong, or when did I go wrong, instead of I'm here right now, I'm living in the moment, why not be what I want to be? And yeah, learn from the past, but make your own present, and don't worry about the future, because the future will be the present. And it's the butterfly effect of like going back in time to change something in the past changes your present. Well, something in your present will very well change your future. And so it's moving in this moment right here to try to start to change the future. And that's really what the focus should be on. Anyway, that's enough talking for now. I've been talking for 18 minutes in my room alone. I gotta wonder what people are even thinking about me. Anyway, thank you for watching, and have a fabulous day.